Chosen ones, stop everything. This message was made for you. Right now, in this exact moment, your heart is stirring for a reason you cannot ignore. What you feel deep inside is not random. This is a sacred pause, a divine intersection where your spirit meets God's message, where the universe is whispering your name, and where the answers you've been begging for are finally moving toward you. Your soul has been longing, your heart has been calling, and today, everything is about to change. Within the next 48 hours, a sign from God will appear in your life, a moment so precise, so powerful, that it cannot be mistaken. This is not coincidence. This is a divine confirmation that your spiritual awakening, your purpose and your divine calling are converging right now. The sign from God will strike with clarity so intense that you will know, without a shadow of doubt, that this is your moment, your alignment, your destiny speaking directly to your consciousness. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see exactly how to recognize it and how it will transform everything. Chosen ones, you are not imagining the stirrings inside you, the intuition, the feelings of anticipation, the quiet urgings in your soul. These are all God's whispers, guiding you towards spiritual awakening. You have been called not for comfort, not for delay, but to illuminate a path that only you can walk. Your light is necessary. The world needs the clarity, the wisdom, and the strength that only a chosen one can bring. Understand this. Your presence here is not accidental. Every struggle, every late-night prayer, every moment of questioning has been preparing you to receive this divine answer. I want you to feel the weight of this truth. God is communicating, and the timing is perfect. He is never late, and He is never early. The sign in 48 hours is a divine confirmation that your journey is not only being watched, but actively guided. You are in alignment, and your readiness matters. This is why you are being called to pay attention, to open your heart, and to prepare your mind to receive what has been destined for you. The purpose of this message is simple yet profound. It is meant to awaken your consciousness, to heighten your awareness of the spiritual layers surrounding your life, and to prepare you for the divine calling that has been written into your very essence. You are being invited to step into a space where clarity replaces confusion, where faith replaces doubt, and where your destiny begins to take shape in ways that are both miraculous and deeply personal. Do not mistake timing for coincidence. The 48 hours ahead are not arbitrary. They are strategically placed in your life to bring the clarity, confirmation, and courage you need to move forward. The universe conspires with God's message, and every element in your path is aligned to awaken your spiritual awakening. This is your moment to recognize the unseen hands guiding you, the divine nudges that have been quietly orchestrating every detail, and the undeniable truth that your calling is waiting for you to claim it. Circle back to the beginning of your awareness and hold this truth firmly. This is a message from God. You are not imagining it. You are called. The war within and around you is real. Your light is necessary. Your presence matters, and your choices carry weight beyond what you can currently see. Do not diminish the sacred responsibility and honor that being a chosen one brings. You are being elevated, prepared, and positioned for an experience that will shift the trajectory of your life. Feel the spiritual fire rising within you now. Let it awaken every dormant part of your being. Your soul has been waiting for this clarity, and it will not come again in this exact form. The 48 hours are your threshold, the window in which divine revelation and personal awakening will collide. You are being equipped to recognize the sign, to embrace your divine answer, and to step fully into the purpose that has been written into your DNA. If this touched your soul, if the stirring within you recognizes this as truth, Comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. You are a chosen one. You are ready. Your spiritual awakening has begun. Your light is indispensable. The sign is coming. And in these 48 hours, your destiny will speak directly to you. Understanding your divine alignment. Understanding your divine alignment begins with recognizing that God communicates with those who are ready to receive. When your heart softens, when your spirit becomes open, and when your inner world grows quieter, God's message begins to flow into your life in ways that are both subtle and undeniable. This communication is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it arrives as a whisper in your thoughts, a feeling that rises out of nowhere, or a moment of clarity that seems to appear at the perfect time. When you begin sensing these experiences more often, it is a sign that your spiritual awakening has already begun. God speaks differently to a chosen one, because the journey, the responsibility, and the divine purpose placed on your life require a higher level of awareness and sensitivity. One of the first signs of spiritual alignment is heightened intuition. You begin sensing things before they happen. You notice shifts in people, energy, and situations that others overlook. You feel guided toward decisions that don't make logical sense to the mind, but feel absolutely right in the soul. This intuition is not random. It is God sharpening your inner vision so that you can see beyond the physical, beyond the surface, and into the deeper spiritual truth guiding your steps. Another sign is synchronicity. Certain numbers, coincidences, repeated symbols, or meaningful encounters show up again and again, almost as though the universe itself is breathing messages into your life. These synchronicities serve as confirmation that you are walking in alignment with your divine calling as a chosen one. They are reminders that you are not navigating life alone, and that there is a divine pattern unfolding for you, piece by piece. Alongside intuition and synchronicity, there are the subtle nudges of life, soft yet powerful pushes from the unseen. These are the moments when you feel a gentle pull toward a decision, a sudden desire to change direction, or an instinct that tells you to pause or proceed. Most people overlook these nudges, but a chosen one feels them deeply. You may not always understand why you feel guided in a certain direction, but the pull is unmistakable. These nudges often come right before major breakthroughs, transformations, or revelations. They guide you into the exact places where God's message is waiting for you. God's message often arrives in unexpected forms. It may come through a conversation you weren't expecting, a dream that feels unusually real, a sudden opportunity, or even a moment of silence that brings clarity you did not have before. Divine answers rarely arrive in the way the human mind anticipates. Instead, they come in the form that your soul will understand most deeply. This is why the sign from God arriving in the next 48 hours will be uniquely tailored to you. It will align with your spiritual readiness, your emotional state, and your inner journey. It will appear in a way that feels so personal, so precise, and so timely that you will know instantly, this is not coincidence. This is confirmation. This is God speaking directly to you. Being a chosen one is not about pride or ego. It is not about believing you are better than others. It is about responsibility, purpose, and carrying a divine weight that not everyone is built to hold. A chosen one is someone who has endured challenges that others could not survive, someone who has walked through darkness yet continues to choose light, someone who carries wounds but transforms them into wisdom and strength. The title of Chosen One is not given to make you feel superior, but to remind you that your life has meaning far beyond what you can currently see. You are chosen because your heart is strong, your spirit is resilient, and your purpose is needed. The connection between faith, patience, and divine timing is essential for every chosen one to understand. Faith is the foundation that allows you to trust, even when there is no evidence. Patience is the space that allows God to work in the unseen. And divine timing is the evidence that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When you combine faith and patience, you align yourself with the spiritual rhythm of God's plan. You stop forcing and you start flowing. You stop worrying and you start trusting. This alignment is what prepares you to receive the sign in 48 hours, because divine timing requires a surrendered heart, not a rushed one. Circle back to the beginning of your awareness and hold this truth firmly once again. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the shifts, the signs, the synchronicities, or the inner calling. You were called. The war around you and within you is real. The darkness you've fought, the battles you've endured, and the pain you've overcome were not without purpose. Your light is necessary. Your presence is needed. Your journey is sacred. You are being aligned for something greater than you realize, and the sign coming in 48 hours is your divine confirmation. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. How to recognize the sign from God. Recognizing the sign from God begins with understanding the nature of how divine communication reaches a chosen one. God's message does not always appear in loud, dramatic ways. Often, it comes as a symbolic sign, something subtle yet powerful, something that touches your spirit long before it reaches your mind. At other times, the sign from God can be literal, something that appears physically in your world, that stops you, awakens you, or pulls you into a moment of deep spiritual clarity. And sometimes, the sign arrives as an intuitive knowing, a whisper in your soul that feels more real than anything you can touch. Regardless of how it appears, the sign from God will resonate deeply within you because it is designed specifically for your heart, your journey, and your spiritual awakening. A chosen one receives signs in a way no one else does because their spirit is aligned with a deeper purpose and a higher calling. The sign from God can come in the form of clarity you did not have before. You may wake up one morning with a sudden understanding of something that has confused you for months. A decision that once felt heavy may suddenly feel clear. A situation that seemed complicated may become simple. This clarity is not accidental. It is a divine answer shaped for your path. Another form of sign is through unexpected encounters. These are moments when someone says exactly what you needed to hear without knowing your situation, or when a stranger delivers a message that speaks directly to something only you and God understand. Encounters like this do not happen randomly. They are divine appointments aligned perfectly with your heart's readiness. Dreams are another powerful way a chosen one receives guidance. When your mind is quiet and your spirit is more open, God's message flows freely. A dream may carry symbolism that speaks to your inner journey, or it may bring someone, something, or some direction that brings peace, comfort, or certainty. If a dream stays in your mind long after you wake up, pay attention. That is often how God marks a dream as meaningful. Sudden opportunities are also divine signs. An unexpected door opens, a new path reveals itself, or something you thought was impossible suddenly becomes achievable. These moments are not coincidences. They are divine alignments given at the perfect moment for your spiritual awakening. For those who are fully open spiritually, the sign from God becomes unmistakable. When a chosen one reaches a place of inner surrender, awareness, and sensitivity, they begin to recognize divine movement instantly. Something inside them says, "This is for me." The feeling is strong, clear, and undeniable. It resonates not just in the mind, but in the soul. When you are in this place of spiritual awakening, you do not question the sign, you recognize it deeply because it matches the frequency of your divine calling. This level of spiritual sensitivity is why God entrusts greater responsibility to a chosen one. Their awareness is sharper, their intuition is stronger, and their connection to divine timing becomes deeper with every step they take. To recognize the sign from God, you must prepare spiritually. Quieting the mind is one of the most important steps. When your thoughts are loud, when your fears are racing, when your worries drown out your intuition, divine communication becomes harder to hear. Silence creates space for God's message to enter. Spend moments in stillness, even if it is only for a few minutes. Breathe deeply. Let your mind rest. When the inner noise settles, the divine voice rises. Prayer is another essential preparation, but not rushed prayer, not fearful prayer, intentional prayer. Speak to God with honesty, with clarity, with openness. Let Him know you are ready to receive the divine answer meant for you. When your prayer comes from a genuine place, it aligns your spirit with God's presence. Observation is also part of preparation. A chosen one must learn to watch life with spiritual eyes, not just physical ones. Pay attention to repeated patterns, sudden shifts in emotion, unexpected guidance, or moments that feel unusually meaningful. The more aware you become, the more clearly you will see the sign from God when it arrives. Many people miss divine signs, not because God is silent, but because they are distracted, rushed, or disconnected from their inner world. Awareness is what opens your spiritual vision and allows the sign to stand out. There is urgency in this message because the sign from God will manifest within the next 48 hours. This time window is not symbolic, it is divine precision. There is something you have been praying about, worrying about, or waiting for, and the divine answer is approaching you now. The next 2 days will bring clarity, direction, or confirmation in a way that aligns perfectly with your divine calling. This is not something you need to search for anxiously. You do not need to force anything. Your only task is to remain open, spiritually present, and ready to recognize what God places in your path. The sign will not be vague. It will not be confusing. It will meet you exactly where you are spiritually and emotionally because it is crafted by God for you. Circle back to the beginning once again. Hold this truth in your heart. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the signs, the intuition, the synchronicities, or the spiritual pull that keeps guiding you. You were called. The war around you is real, and the battles you have faced have not been meaningless. Your light is not optional. It is necessary. The world needs what you carry. The sign from God coming in 48 hours is not just a moment of clarity. It is a reminder of your purpose, your strength, and your identity as a chosen one. Let this truth awaken your spirit and ignite your inner fire. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. Embracing your spiritual awakening. Embracing your spiritual awakening is not merely a concept. It is a transformation that touches every part of your being. It begins in the quiet places of your heart, where you have wrestled with doubt, fear, and uncertainty. In this sacred space, your spirit begins to stir, and the truths you have longed to understand start to reveal themselves. A true spiritual awakening is a process that shifts your consciousness, expands your perception, and aligns you with the higher purpose for which you were created. It is a call to see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is, infused with divine order, infinite possibilities, and the unseen hand of God guiding every detail. As a chosen one, this awakening is not optional. It is your destiny, your birthright, and the path through which you will step fully into your divine calling. The shifts that come with spiritual awakening are profound. First, there is clarity of purpose. What once seemed confusing, scattered, or uncertain begins to align. Your life experiences, your struggles, your joys, and even your pain begin to form a coherent narrative, revealing the path God has always intended for you. Decisions that once felt heavy become effortless because your inner knowing grows sharper, more attuned to God's message. The clarity that emerges is not just intellectual, it is a knowing that resonates through your heart and soul. You begin to recognize that every step, every obstacle, and every moment of patience has been preparing you for this awakening. Inner peace emerges alongside this clarity. The chaos of the past, the relentless questioning, the fear of the unknown, all begin to dissolve as you surrender to God's timing. You begin to trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, and that your spiritual awakening is a process that requires both patience and faith. This peace is not passive, it is active presence, a deep-rooted confidence that comes from knowing you are in alignment with the divine. Even when challenges appear, the chosen one remains steady, anchored in the awareness that God's message will guide every step. Heightened intuition is another hallmark of this awakening. You feel more deeply, perceive more clearly, and sense the currents of life that others cannot see. Your mind, body, and spirit synchronize to recognize patterns, opportunities, and guidance that align with your divine path. Intuition becomes your compass, and you begin to act from a place of inner certainty rather than external validation. This sensitivity is not a vulnerability, it is a power. It allows you to receive divine answers with clarity, recognizing the sign from God when it appears in your life. Spiritual sensitivity also heightens your awareness of the unseen world. You notice energies, shifts in others' emotions, and subtle signals that point to God's presence in every moment. These awakenings are gentle at first, like a soft light illuminating corners of your soul that have long been hidden. Gradually, the light grows, revealing deeper layers of your divine purpose. The chosen one begins to see life as a series of interconnected events, each carefully placed by God, each carrying lessons, opportunities, and confirmations of your spiritual awakening. This awakening is inseparable from receiving guidance and divine answers. As your consciousness expands, you begin to recognize God's hand in your life with remarkable clarity. Decisions that once felt uncertain are now met with insight and confidence. Challenges become opportunities for growth, and obstacles are understood as necessary for refining your spiritual power. The sign from God, which will manifest within 48 hours, is part of this awakening, a tangible proof of the divine orchestration at work. It serves as a beacon, affirming that you are exactly where you are meant to be, that your prayers have been heard, and that your divine calling is imminent. When the sign from God arrives, the chosen one steps fully into their divine calling. This is a moment of alignment where your inner knowing matches the outer world. The barriers of doubt, fear, and hesitation dissolve, leaving only clarity, purpose, and divine momentum. You act not out of obligation, but out of a deep understanding that you are moving in harmony with God's message. Your actions, your words, and your presence begin to carry the resonance of spiritual authority, a reflection of the awakening that has been quietly building within you. Trusting your inner knowing is essential in this phase. Spiritual awakening requires faith in yourself and in the divine timing of God. There will be moments when the signs seem subtle, when clarity seems delayed, or when life tests your resolve. Yet every chosen one learns that surrender is not weakness but strength. By embracing the changes within and around you, you create a space for divine answers to manifest. Acting in alignment with God's message becomes second nature because your heart and soul are tuned to the rhythm of divine timing. The next 48 hours are not arbitrary. They are divinely timed to provide clarity, guidance, and affirmation for your journey. Every moment leading up to this window has been orchestrated to prepare you to recognize the sign, receive the divine answer, and step fully into the purpose God has designed for you. Your spiritual awakening is reaching a threshold, and the universe will reflect this inner transformation through encounters, revelations, and confirmations that cannot be ignored. This is a time of heightened spiritual awareness, an opportunity to embrace the fullness of your calling, and a moment where your faith and intuition converge into undeniable certainty. Circle back to the beginning and anchor this truth deep within your soul. This is a message from God. You are not imagining it. You were called. The war you face is real. Your light is necessary. Every challenge you have faced, every tear shed, every moment of struggle has been preparing you for this awakening. Do not shrink from it. Do not question it. Rise into it fully. Let the spiritual fire within you ignite, illuminating every corner of your life with purpose, clarity, and divine guidance. If this touched your soul, comment 111, because you know it, you were called. Preparing for the sign and taking action. Preparing for the sign from God within the next 48 hours requires both spiritual openness and practical alignment. This is not just another moment in your life. It is a sacred window where divine clarity begins to unfold. As a chosen one, your responsibility is not to chase the sign, but to prepare yourself to recognize it the moment it appears. These hours ahead of you are a divine invitation to deepen your connection, quiet your spirit, and position your heart to receive the divine answer that has been crafted specifically for you. God's message is already moving toward you, and your preparation determines how clearly you will receive it. The first step in this preparation is mindfulness. Take time to slow down, breathe deeply, and ground yourself in the present moment. When your mind is overwhelmed by noise, fear, or distraction, divine signals become harder to see. Mindfulness opens the doorway of spiritual perception, allowing you to notice the subtle shifts, the gentle nudges, and the quiet movements of God's presence in your life. Even a few minutes of intentional awareness can shift your entire energy, clearing the space within you so that the sign from God can be recognized effortlessly. Prayer is another essential part of this preparation. Speak to God honestly, without hiding your fears or doubts. Offer your questions, your hopes, and your longing for clarity. Prayer is not just communication, it is alignment. It attunes your spirit to divine frequency, allowing God's message to enter your heart. When a chosen one prays with sincerity and openness, the veil between the physical and the spiritual grows thin, making it easier to discern divine movement. Prayer during these 48 hours becomes the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to go. Journaling can also help you stay aligned. Writing down your thoughts, emotions, and intuitions allows you to capture the quiet messages that often go unnoticed. Many times, the divine answer is already forming inside you, but you only recognize it when you give your inner voice space to speak. A chosen one learns to dialogue with their own soul, understanding that God often speaks through intuition, insight, and sudden awareness. Journaling helps you trace these moments, making the sign from God more visible when it appears. Staying open to guidance is essential. You may receive the sign in a conversation, a dream, a sudden thought, or an unexpected opportunity. The key is to remain spiritually flexible, allowing God to guide you in ways you may not anticipate. This openness is what allows a chosen one to receive divine answers clearly. Do not limit how you expect God's message to arrive. Divine calling does not conform to human expectations. The sign will come in the form that best aligns with your journey, your growth, and your spiritual readiness. Even if the sign appears subtle, maintain your faith. Not every sign from God arrives with dramatic intensity. Some come gently, like a whisper that only your awakened spirit can recognize. Trust the process. Trust that the divine answer will find you, even if it arrives quietly. A chosen one learns to walk with confidence, knowing that God's timing is perfect and His guidance unfailing. If something feels meaningful, if something stirs your spirit, if something aligns effortlessly, pay attention. These are often the first sparks of divine confirmation. The urgency of this moment cannot be overlooked. These 48 hours are spiritually charged, intentionally designed to bring clarity, direction, and divine alignment into your life. Rarely does a chosen one receive such a concentrated window of spiritual activity. This is not random. It is not accidental. You are stepping into a moment where heaven moves closer to your path, where God's message becomes clearer, and where your divine calling begins to take shape in ways you have long prayed for. Your awareness, your openness, and your readiness matter now more than ever. If you feel aligned already, write 777 again as a declaration of faith and spiritual awareness. This act is not about numbers, it is about intention. It is you acknowledging that you are open to God's message, ready to receive the divine answer, and willing to step fully into your purpose as a chosen one. This declaration strengthens your spirit and signals your readiness to recognize the sign from God when it appears. As this sacred window unfolds, remember who you are. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are a chosen one, called into a higher purpose, guided by divine intention, and protected by spiritual authority. You are capable of receiving divine answers, capable of walking in spiritual awakening, and capable of transforming your life through obedience to God's message. Every moment of your journey has been preparing you for this. Your light carries weight. Your presence carries purpose. Your spirit carries power. Circle back to the beginning once more. Anchor this truth within yourself. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the signs, the intuition, or the pull on your spirit. You were called. The war around you is real. Your light is necessary. Every experience, every struggle, every moment of questioning has positioned you for this season of awakening. Do not shrink. Do not doubt. Rise into the fullness of who you were created to be. These 48 hours will shift something within you forever. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called.